Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 8 Week 8 Day 5. So today, we got a little bit of a weird thing going on. Of course, main thing we have going on, new Mythic ended up coming out, the Ahries Mythic. It's basically a worse Arachnian Weaver that is situationally going to be okay. Of course, we covered a video on it earlier this morning. Oh yeah, if I was going to go search it, I forgot it does so high alphabetically. I actually don't even need to search for it, but there it is. But yes, it does magic times 2 plus 1 to magic times 4 plus 3 for its damage range. So basically times 2 to times 4, easiest way to think about it. But it does have an additional 1 and an additional 3 on its 2 values. And then if it gets a kill, it does 8 explode. So overall, it's not horrible. It's not the greatest. It's a pretty average Mythic. I'd say slightly above average, but definitely in the more average category. But definitely not below average. It does 2 times skull damage to stunned enemies. So you could end up synergizing this with Elementalist, with Obsidius, you know, pretty much anything that has a good stun. You have a 50% skull reduction. So you can end up being resistant that way. And his final trait's pretty underwhelming, unfortunately. It gives 4 armor to all brown allies. When matching brown gems, it's generally not going to be able to get too much value. Even in a pure brown team, it's just not really too worth it. He's mostly going to be used with things like rope darts to set up into his kill, or pretty much anything that will allow him to set up into his damage kill. You're definitely going to need things that cycle pretty quickly, so you can get rid of barrier in case he needs it, because of course he's pretty bad against barrier if the enemy first slot ends up getting barrier. Rope dart's also pretty good, the angle of rope dart in case they do have a proper frontline tank, because of course he wants to always be able to kill the first slot, but if something is in first slot that you can't really kill that easily, rope dart would allow you to move something there that you can. So it has pretty good synergy there. Overall, it's okay. It definitely can do a bit of damage. I don't really see much of an instance where you would use it. I feel like in Guild Wars, the meta might be too strong for it to take on. For factions, it doesn't have enough stats to be able to function. And in just, yeah, there just isn't really a location where you can use it. It's one of those mythics where it's like, it's not useless, but realistically, when are you ever going to use it? It basically falls in that category, which quite a few mythics do fall in that category, or in troops in general as well, where, yeah, they're not useless, but there's just things that do other things better than them, to the point where they almost never get used for any game mode, and that mythic is around that area. However, personally, of the 3 KZO mythics that exist, it is my personal favorite 3, I do have to say. So it does have that going for it, because the other one's just a reflect tank that doesn't even do that properly, and the other one is just a tank that also doesn't really do that properly, mostly because he mana blocks too much, because you have to use him in first slot, and then you're mana blocking so much that you can't really end up doing much with it. Withering Staff with Obsidius, that could go away to go with it. What's the 4th troop in there, though? Oh, with Leprechaun. Oh, yeah, the Leprechaun for a little bit of mana accumulation. That could end up working out, then. You just go straight into a Withering Staff that brings it to Ahries hit, and then you just kind of keep going back and forth. And you have 2 times skull damage off Obsidius. I personally didn't build any teams around the Obsidius. I tried building them more around Elementals. Actually, I think I overwrit them all earlier. Actually, I did keep the low-cost one. Honestly, this was probably my favorite one. The low-cost one that we end up showing. Which is kind of funny because it literally uses the lowest rarity possible options. But, I don't know. Out of every single one I was messing with earlier today, last night, or technically this morning, I don't know which one it really was at this point. My sleep schedule was kind of weird. But whatever time that was when that video went up, this was actually my favorite one from then. And it's actually the only one I didn't delete yet. Not that I actually meant to delete the other one, just because I had to get the teams in for the other video. And I didn't really have much I could move. Okay, so let's go take this. I probably should have done Leprechaun first to give him a little bit more explosion. Don't think it's going to be too big a deal. Basically what we're doing here is chipping him to kill range. The only problem is he does have Pan, which could ruin us slightly. As long as it doesn't go too crazy here, I think we are fine. So we're just going to go for another poke there. Hope that this can kill. I think we do want one more poke just out of safety's sake. And I think we're good to go. So he'll do his thing. We'll go and poke him out. And we'll basically rinse and repeat. But this was the cheapest one. It does look like we're going to lose to the ban spam. No! The pawns! That's why I didn't want to do that one earlier. I had a feeling that the reordering would just ruin our team so much. And apparently it did. Anyways. But yeah, this was a really fun one. I don't feel like I use Rashka Freeblood that often. But it's a pretty fun troop to mess around with. It reminds me a lot of Bronzlock Pistol. It's actually the same color as Bronzlock Pistol, actually. It runs a really, really similar premise. Then the rope dart one that we did this morning, I kind of liked a pretty decent amount. It would rope dart just feels like a completely different experience. No, I took the gamble and lost. No! I tried for it and we didn't get it. We didn't get it. Actually, that is so overkill. That's a big issue with this troop as well. There are a lot of instances where you're just going to be doing ultra overkill. Also, a lot of instances where you need to be hitting a value and you just hit like pretty much the lowest possible value, which is always bad when that ends up happening. Also, I don't really have an alternative damage at the moment, though. Let's just hope it rolls high enough. Go! No! No, Ahries, how could you? How could you? We're usually going to win though, but still. How could you? I need like a little stun poke thing. We do not have any pokage in our team. Mostly because our pokage option has died. It is dead, and then we get the poke there. Yeah, that's an okay mythic. I can go show that other team real quick that you mentioned. Might as well mess around with it. But yeah, so far I do feel like the rope dart was the absolute strongest, but that one I personally had the most amount of fun with. The one that uses Roshka Free Blood, probably because I don't use the troop enough. Like compared to a Leprechaun and stuff, you generally don't need to use it. Well, let's go mess with this team. So, oh yeah, I forgot. That might be ruining my Rune Priest, though. That's why I generally don't try to copy-paste too many teams. I keep forgetting it ruins, like, my class every single time. Because a lot of people don't have them fully leveled. And they probably have it set to things that I don't want it set to. Because a lot of them are set for Guild Wars, specifically. Let's see. Sometimes, wait, are we using it in first slot? If you use it in first slot, you actually normally want to use Razor instead. No, it's the second slot one. Also, why Rune Priest, of all things? Interesting. Oh, because the synergy with the brown thing? Would we want this spell? Because it helps get rid of barrier instead of extra brown. Because we're not creating brown with this team, are we? Let's see. It counts as a construct. We could actually give it extra life. I don't think I've ever used that ability. We technically could if we wanted to. There's one singular construct on our team. Because that's the only typing that is construct. Let's see. Maybe I'll roll with this one. Yeah, we'll go try this team real quick. Might as well. It is a brand new mythic. I do want to mess with this a little bit more after we finish the faction as well. Not this particular team, but the mythic itself, that is. So we're currently entangled. Got a withering down. Unfortunately, we are entangled still. That did not change the fact that we're entangled. We actually have no way to deal with stats effects with this team. It has absolutely zero ways to do so. So we are basically going to just die, it looks like. It'd almost be more beneficial if it died. But then again, that's the whole troop we're trying to mess with right now. Is the new mythic. It just really does not want to unentangle. I personally feel like Obsidious with it is a little overkill. Let's see, we'll take that down. But if nothing else, it does allow us to almost perpetually do 2x skull damage, which is kind of nice. But elementals can get to the same point if we can get enough extra turns off it. Theoretically, you could combine the two as well. Because you do get a few other benefits from it too. I'm just going to hope that that hits high enough. I had a feeling it wouldn't. It was more likely that it wouldn't than it would, but it was worth a shot. I do feel like a lot of these teams need like a small poker to kind of get it into range. Oh yeah, we're going to lose this one. We very much lost. We'll go try another one though. Against an Enraged Karandera. We can't really use the stun mechanic against Enraged Karandera though. Doesn't really work in that kind of situation. Actually, his whole team has immune to stun, doesn't it? I just noticed. No. His hero doesn't. Everything else does. But that's almost a full immune team to stun. Literally just his hero is the only thing that can be stunned. Actually, I should probably go grab the rope dart one from the video earlier. Because I actually don't have it saved now that I overrid it. That was definitely my favorite one so far, from a strength perspective. The one that ended up using the actually, I think it was pure yellow too, oddly enough. I might try it for Yellow Guild War. I am slightly tempted to try the yellow one for Yellow Guild War. The pure yellow one that we end up making like on the fly during the video. And yes, even using it with Weaver. Weaver's like somewhat, actually, maybe I'll go do it now. And we'll finish out this battle real quick though. Let's see. We'll take that first. Get our nice big explosion. And is that kill range? No, it is not. So we'll just go for a nice explosion again, go for Withering Staff, and should be good to go. Get that down. Nice kill range. That's the thing I hate about it, though. Like, Weaver, you don't have to worry about that with, because you're double poking. But whenever it does that, it always feels kind of bad. Which is a problem that the Mythic has. Like when you're like hitting for 100-something damage when you need to do like 20. And you kind of have to do it because you need the mana accumulation. Alright, let me go find the one from the video earlier. Actually, I don't have the thing up, so you know what? I'm just going to do it from here. We'll find our channel this way. Let's see. We'll go to youtube.com. Let's just go to my own video. Make it nice and easy. Let's see. Oh, I did not want to sign in. No, don't sign in. Let's see. I want to, I'm so used to that being my channel location. I was like, that's how I normally get to my channel. I forgot. I gotta do it this way since it's not like auto logged in. There's our stream. Let's see. There's the Puzzle Crush stream. Anyways, where am I looking? I'm looking for this. We're looking for videos. I just want to copy paste the thing that we mentioned earlier. Should be on this one.
Hello.
Pause the ad. Gosh, it feels so weird seeing YouTube in the white layout. I'm looking for the one we made at the end. Rope dart. Copy, copy, copy. There we go. Alright, let's go use that team. There it is. So, this was the rope dart one. This one was fun as well. I wish I could use Leprechaun or something on this team. Obviously for pure yellow you can't. If you were doing this outside the context of pure yellow you can. But this was centered around trying to be a yellow Guild War team. But I really like the combination of yellow, of rope dart into the Ahries. Okay, so can I get a yellow off the sky? Let's let him poke me. Oh wait, I already have the option. What am I doing? But yeah, I really like this combination. You just rope dart something that needs to be killed. You then cast Ahries. You then rope dart something that needs to be killed. You then cast Ahries. And you basically just rinse and repeat until you just killed out the entire enemy team. It's a lot of fun. This is probably my absolute favorite so far with it. Of things that I've messed around with so far. It's just such a good combination, rope dart to Ahries. I'm just not sure what to do for the other troop. Like, if you were doing non-pure yellow, which we might need to mess around with a little bit later to stream. Like this team, but make it non-pure yellow. Because then you can replace out Gimlet for a better mana accumulator, like Leprechaun or something. And then you can replace out Weaver for something that pressures damage rather than pressure survivability. Because that's pretty much just there to make sure you don't lose on Yellow Guild War Day, more so than winning quickly. Oh, what am I doing? I already have alignment. Whoops. Yeah, we'll take that over as well. Unfortunately, still a little bit short. Ideally, what we want here is Yellow Surge, but we cannot, so we'll just take that. Oh wait, this guy has really low stats. I could simply just go for it. Whoops. Didn't realize this battle was such low in stats. Oh no, I could have killed the other one and just killed the other with Skull. It's fine. No, we just Weaver him down. Now let's just do one more fight and then we'll go do the faction. And then we'll mess with the Mythic a little bit later this stream. Well, let's go do the faction after this next battle. Weaver against a Weaver team. Technically this is a Weaver team. It's more so a rope dart to Ahries team, but you know, a Weaver exists on the team, so it is indeed a Weaver team. Just Weaver existing on a team basically makes it its own team. It's kind of how Weaver works. Okay, he's going to get some early damage on us. I just realized an issue. When we get webbed, we basically lose. Because it can't get a kill anymore. It's doing like, what, 1 to 6 damage? I mean, what is 6? I meant 1 to 3. Well, here you can see the base values very easily that I was talking about earlier. He has a base damage of 1 to a base damage of 3, like I mentioned earlier. That makes it really easy to see those values. Oh, that consumes the Enrage. I almost forgot about that. If you take a Skull while you have 0 attack, you still... It's kind of weird, because if you don't have a Skull... If you have a Skull effect and you hit 0, you will not do your status effect that you have on Skull. However, if you have Enrage and you hit a 0, you still consume the Enrage, which is kind of weird. Also, I think we're about to lose. Weaver just Weavered us. We just got Weavered. Okay, can we still win this? I feel like we can. We'll go for that. The main combo of this team is still alive, and that's the main thing that matters. The only problem is we're up against life and death, and that will probably make us just auto-lose. Because this team cannot really deal with life and death that well. It doesn't really have multi-hit, so it's kind of hitting the front constantly, which is not ideal. This is still winnable, though. Oh, I shouldn't have taken that blue yet. But let's go move this. Go for our Explosion. And that should move us into a state that's maybe winnable. As long as he doesn't die to Deathmark, I think we have this. Oh, I just gave him more Weaver potential, though. The main thing that's going to kill us here is, of all things, is going to be the Entangle from Weaver. Is actually going to make us lose this battle. I can move Weaver to first slot, though. The only problem with this is he already won. No, he didn't. I could take him out with a skull there. There we go. He almost already won. Good old rope dart. Does that kill? Yes, it does. I would have to kill him with just Ahries, which is very exceedingly unlikely. Though technically possible. Oh, wait, never mind. We have barrier. That's fine. We're still in a very weird position, though. I'd rather... I guess I have to do this. Just in case it dies to Deathmark. Oh, no! I was going to say, it hasn't been getting a spider all this time. Is it not going to do it? Nope. We got pretty lucky there, though. It did not spider for quite some time. Oh, that's enough for it to kill. No! The Weaver team got us. Anyways, let's go do the faction. So, of course, we went over a bunch of teams for that earlier today as well. For any of you that are messing with that, we will be doing the free battles. Technically, I went to go get the enchant potion as well, just to help speed things along. However, we're mostly just doing the free battles, and I am personally going to be using the Guards Avatar team. And we'll be using this to clear out the faction here. So, let's start and getting on that. So let's go do that, paste the team in, and see how far we can actually get. I'm more so curious just to do this more so to see where it lands, because I really don't know how far you can get with Tier 1 for a weekend-long event. Obviously, we know how far Tier 1 goes on a Tuesday event. However, I'm not sure how far it goes on a weekend-long event, because this has never actually happened before, so just kind of curious. Also, I never said hello to everyone. Hope everyone's been doing well this week. It's finally the weekend. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, NASA. Hello, Defiant. Hello, Gimli. Hello, Hung. Hello, Ricardo. Hello, Chris. Hello, Roman. Hello, Gem God DS. Hello, Defiant. Hello, Mr. Jesse. Hello, Genki. Hello, Logic Slayer. Hello, Erosion. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Hello, Bear. Hello, Daddy Shark. Hello, Mr. Z. Hello, everyone who hasn't said hello. And hello to all the lurkers. Hello, everyone. All of the many hellos. Alright, where are we? We got ourselves a Valraven. That's a really early Valraven. We just started this faction. That's a super early Valraven. Isn't this like the second battle? It's literally the second battle. Battle number 2. That didn't take long. That's a really lucky early Valraven. Also, hello, Jamie. Welcome, welcome. You just joined the stream and heard Tacit utter the words like and Ahries in the same sentence. Who are you guys punking? What? Is everyone hating on the Mythic? Like, before it got like that slight buff, I thought it was going to be 100% useless. However, since it got that little bit of buff, I don't know, it's usable. It's very weak, but it's still above average as far as Mythics are concerned. It's a really weird utility troop that you're very rarely going to use, but it's not useless. Like, if you compare it to other Mythics in KZL, it's one of the highest priority Mythics you would get from that place. Because I don't feel like I ever use Stonehammer because he blocks you too much. And the Reflect one is pretty much never going to be used. It just doesn't do enough damage overall back in Reflect to justify using it. Because there's a Reflect mechanic while also having Skull Reflect. But just not enough overall damage to really be worth using. To waste the whole slot for. Especially since you're normally using him in first slot or second slot. Normally first slot. And he's already blocking. So they both had the same problem. Both Stonehammer and that one Reflect troop from KZL. They both share the problem in that they both want to be used in first slot, but they just block so much mana when they're used in first slot that they're not worth using. They both have the exact same issue. Whereas this one that they just added today, if it blocks you in first slot, it doesn't actually matter, because it should be able to mana generate in most situations, unless you can't kill secure. But whenever you can kill secure, it's going to be mana generating, so it still ends up working out. But yeah, it's not one of the better Mythics, but like compared to the KZL Mythics there are, it's definitely the strongest one of the 3. Or at least the one I feel like I would use the most of the 3. Because I already know how little I don't use the other 2. Like, I'll probably try for Yellow Guild Wars just to see how it goes. It's not going to score like a 9,600, but it could get away with a 5-win 5,300 or something. Which isn't ideal, but it likely would still get through. I don't feel like I would use it on Brown Guild War Day, though. Even though I did show a pure Brown team for one of them. But we will try it next Yellow Guild War Day, if I remember, which I should hopefully remember to do. I do feel like I might get rid of Weaver for something else, though. Well, it depends what team we're up against. Like, if we're up against a Life and Death, we definitely don't want to have Weaver. As weird as that may seem. Like, if we're up against a Weaver team, we actually don't want a Weaver because their Weaver is set up better to function. We'd mostly only want to use the Weaver if they're kind of hitting from the top down. For example, a Book team. It would work pretty good against. Hello, Bill. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I should go do a poll. Are you doing the faction event this week? Wait, didn't I already poll this? Well, I polled it before it actually was happening. So let me go do it again because I'm actually kind of curious. Because I think I actually did poll this a little bit earlier. But I didn't give an option for completely skipping it. So let me poll it correctly this time. Are you doing the Umbral Nexus faction event this weekend? Let's see. The answer is yes, free battles slash tier 1. Yes, all rewards. Tier, is it like tier 3 to 4? I think it's around tier 3 to 4. Tier 3 to 4. Yes, pure faction 500. And then no, because I didn't have a no option last time. The way I worded it previously, no. And the other one's just gonna literally be the word no. No. I'll do skipping it, I guess. Skipping it. There we go. There we go. We now have a proper poll this time. With every possible option, unless there's some other option. I can't really think of a different option other than those 4, though. It's either you're doing basically the free battles or literally the free battles. You're doing all rewards. You're doing pure faction 500, which is also technically leaderboard, most likely. Or no, you're literally just completely skipping it. That covers all the grounds now. Any ideas why they're repeating it? I don't think this is a actual function. I think what ended up happening is because they released Puzzle Quest 2 this Tuesday, I think what was supposed to happen is they were going to try to get the Gems of War patch out earlier, but they weren't able to. And for that reason, they obviously prioritized doing the Puzzle Quest launch, getting that game out and about. So in doing so, they weren't able to push out the Gems of War update. And that basically made it so this weekend right here, which was likely supposed to be something related to the next patch, had to be delayed. Or you know, it couldn't happen because there's no patch yet. So instead, they just put this Umbral Nexus here. I don't believe this is going to be a reoccurring feature. I believe whatever happening in next patch will be addressing this, I think. Which is my main guess, is that we're going to have a feature in next patch that will basically be a replacement for these gaps that normally would occur due to, you know, no more factions occurring. So that is my guess, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But I feel like something in next patch would basically be those weekend events now. But they weren't able to do it because the patch didn't come out in time for this weekend. Because I've been mentioning for a while, it seems like we're going to be getting the Tuesday patch any week now. And I'm pretty sure it got delayed on their end for when exactly they wanted to do it. So they didn't have any event to do this weekend, so they simply did Umbral Nexus again. Which seems to be the case, so I have no clue what the actual reason is. Unless they're just going to start doing weekend faction events now, which might be a thing, who knows. We'll find out in like 6 weeks from now, if we see another faction event randomly. But yeah, it is definitely a good way to get done level 500 pure factions. Not only do you get more sigils than normal, so you won't have to buy as much compared to a Tuesday. I think it saves you like 200 or 400 gems. So not only does it already start off by saving you 200 or 400 gems, but you also have 3 days to do it instead of 1, which it makes it substantially easier. It also makes it so you could do it over the weekend instead of on a Tuesday, which for most people's schedule would likely be easier to do. Not just because you have more time, but also just the days that it falls on tends to be better for the average person. Not everyone, though. But, you know, it is more statistically likely that someone has more free time on a Friday, Saturday, and or Sunday than they do on a Tuesday in the middle of the week. Because that must be hard for some people, because I'm pretty sure there's a decent handful of people that work every Tuesday. Which means if you wanted to do all the level 500 pure factions in this game, it's kind of difficult to do in the current state of the game. If you're busy every Tuesday. Because it takes at least a few hours. Even if you're doing pure skip method, like you're talking like 2 or 3 hours, even if you skip straight to the final boss every time. Probably close to 3 hours. Like, it's not a quick thing to do. You need a lot of free time on a Tuesday to do it. Let's see. Let's write that down. Do 2 3-day faction assaults instead of Guild War. I don't think they would ever do that. Though I would love to see faction events go from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday instead of just Tuesday. I feel like that would be a great feature. Make them a 3-day long thing, starting on Tuesday, going through those 3 days. Because right now, of course, they only occur on Tuesday. Or, you know, the normal weekly one. I don't know, we'll find out in time. We won't really know until more time goes by and it happens again. Or it doesn't happen again. Because if it doesn't happen in the next, like, 2 months, it's probably just a one-off thing that they did because the patch didn't come out yet. So it was mostly just a precaution because it didn't come out, so they needed to put something there. Great feature, so there's basically a 0% chance it would happen, pretty much. No, they do some really good features from time to time. Though it takes them a while, occasionally. Some pretty decent stuff is in next patch, though. Like, we don't know every single, like, minute detail. But the things that we do know are pretty nice. Particularly the thing to buff token. Because it will be way, way easier to get tokens next patch. Not so easy that you'll be drowning in them, but, like, easier than they are now, for sure. Yeah, Salty once if they would redo the factions that never had potions. And she said they would consider it. Interesting. She doesn't work for them anymore, but hopefully she reported it back at some point. They also mentioned during one live stream, I believe Surgeon was on it too, the lead developer of the game, that they would maybe consider being able to get potion effects onto factions when it's not a faction event. So basically be able to, like, make it easier to do a faction for, like, a short duration of time. When it's not actually even a faction event at all, which would make doing 500 pure faction a lot easier, because all you'd have to do is get there to 500. Then when you're there, you could buy some potions to buff up. Maybe it would be per battle. Like, maybe you could just buy like several potions, have it for that battle or for like X amount of time, however long it is, and then end up having it that way. They have not implemented such a mechanic, but it would allow you to pretty much much cheaper get a pure faction done. Because let's say if it is per battle, but if you can get it done first try. Let's say it takes like 600 gems to buy all the potions for one single battle. Or maybe 500. Let's say it takes 500 gems. Like, that is way cheaper than spending nearly 2,000 to do a pure faction event, where you have to go all the way to 500, grind out all that stuff. You get a lot of loot along the way, but if they ever add a way to just do the potions, that will make it quite a bit cheaper, gem-wise, to get pure factions. We don't really know what pricing it would be under, or, you know, how you would end up activating it. It's also a feature that does not currently exist. It's just something they were maybe, they said they would maybe do at some point, but they still haven't. Like some kind of way to have potion effects for factions when it's not a faction event for that faction. Because that would fix all the level 500 pure faction issues. Though there are multiple factions that can be done without potions. Like, as the game goes on further and further, it becomes increasingly easier to do so, as there are more stats in the game. There's also sometimes a power gem at a given time that makes it easier. Like, for example, right now we have the, I almost said wild card, but currently we have the, gosh, I already forgot what it was. The wild card. No, not the wild, what do we have right now? No, the star. We have the little star thingy. I was thinking like Umbral star. It's like, wait, that's wrong too, but I knew it was a star. But no, we have that star right now, so whenever you destroy that, you end up getting a bunch of mana. for either 1, 2, 3, or 4 of your allies, or very rarely 4 of your allies and all 4 of the enemies. Does one of those 5 things. But like sometimes there's a power gem like that that can potentially make it easier to do a particular faction. Like for example, that power gem makes it a lot easier to do any faction that has explode or destroy, because you can end up destroying the star and then getting a lot of value very quickly. And you'd likely be able to do it before the AI will be able to do it, so it gives you more of a benefit than the enemy. Yeah, Wish Gem's its particular name. I knew it was the star one. I just keep calling it the star. Even though there are Umbral stars and, gosh, now I forget the other one. Yeah, Elemental Star and the Umbral stars. Even though there's those stars, there's also just the Wish Gem, which oddly enough is not called a star, which kind of annoys me because it literally looks the most like a star, yet it's called a Wish Gem. Like this thing right here. Like that's the starriest looking star that I've ever seen. Yet it's called a Wish Gem. Yet the other ones that look less like a star are called stars. Technically all 3 of them are a star. But that is like the starriest looking star. Quite literally a shooting star. But it's called a Wish Gem. Which makes sense. You wish upon a star. So it's considered a Wish Gem in that regard. I keep wanting to call it a Star Gem. Or something similar. Even though that's not what it's actually called. Another Val. We've been doing pretty good on Val Ravens. Definitely not disappointed. Keep getting it so early on in the Delph cycle as well. Also, we could probably go a bit past 100 with this team. I normally mark it as like 20 to 100. However, depending on your stats, this team can go to like 120. Like, if you're going for double shot, you can go, I think, almost to 150 with this team. It's when you start needing triple hit is when it starts completely falling off. But while you're still in the double hit range, it's still pretty good. Incoming token sync will make the extras worthless. Oh no, is it confirmed that we're getting a token sync? I don't believe anything in next patch specifically syncs tokens. Literally just troops coming into the game is probably all the sync they ever need for tokens. Because the rate at which you can accumulate tokens is currently slower than the rate at which new troops come into the game, unless you play for a very, very long amount of grinding each day. But for the average player, realistically, the rate of just troops coming into the game right now is simply enough to make you always need tokens. Because most people are not farming tokens at a quicker rate than troops being added to the game. Easiest way to tell if you are is, do you instantly max every troop the second it comes out? Like, do you instantly upgrade that Mythic to max today? Pretty sure most people aren't. Because the rate at which content comes into the game, almost no one can realistically farm up to that speed. You could, but you'd have to play for like 6+ hours of Explore 12 per day, which almost no one is doing. So I don't think that they would really need a token sync. Even with the buff, it is still hard to keep up with the rate. Like, I'm not sure exactly how much it'll be of a buff, but I'm pretty sure you still have to realistically farm like 3-4 hours of Explore 12 per day to just keep up with the rate of new stuff coming into the game. That's not even counting any additional progress, just to keep up with new content. I think it's like 3+ hours per day, even after the buff, if not longer. So they really don't need a token sync. Just troops existing, or in further existing, is the sync. It's one of the few things, unlike trait stones or ingots, where the current system for it kind of is already enough to make sure you never run out. Or, you know, as far as grinding. Because tokens, you eventually hit a wall where you have more than you ever need. I mean, not tokens, I mean trait stones. You eventually hit a wall where you hit a point where you never need anymore. Same as ingots. But the way that tokens are set up, you're pretty much never going to reach that point. And even someone who does, let's say you finally max every single troop in the game, you still then have to keep up with the token rate of everything that still comes into the game. So even if you were to 100% everything, you'd still have to keep up with that rate. So there'd always be some grind to it. Because it's not like with trait stones where you reach a point and it's like, oh, I'm done with trait stones forever. Tokens will basically never reach that point, even after the buff coming next patch. They would have to do like multiple buffs beyond what next patch is doing for that to happen. Oh, hello, Jason. Welcome, welcome. I'll throw that down. If anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over to, let me know. Also, once we finish out all of our sigils, we'll probably mess with the new Mythic a little bit more. Also, how far are we on rewards? Okay, we got junk, 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 junk. We're about to get a vault key, then an orb, then junk, junk, vault key. I highly doubt we're getting any further than that. I'll be surprised if we even hit stage 11. It might be possible though, I'm not sure. Does anyone know how far you even get with free battles? I have never done that for a weekend event before. Well, technically we bought tier 1. But we're basically at the free amount of battles. We can tell when we're at the exact point of free battles when we hit 1 sigil. The first instance where we hit 1 sigil is where we would have 0 sigils if we did not buy tier 1. Because from tier 1 you get 1 sigil. So when we hit 1 for the first time, which hasn't happened yet, but when that number says 1, that is when we actually have 0. Assuming we didn't buy tier 1. Which should be like, what, 90? Because I think that's where that normally falls. Like 80 or 90 or so. Actually, I think specifically at 80, because that's when you would normally have it for the the Tuesday event. Question is where exactly the extra 1 will make it fall. Depending on how Val Ravens go, it should end on 110, if I'm not mistaken. Though you could get bad Val Raven luck for that not to occur, but I'm pretty sure it would end at 110. Level 110 faction. I know, I don't have enough damage. Look, though, we have enough damage with the other thing. The backup plan. Yeah, you can also run out of souls, which is another factor. That's one kind of funny thing about if they do make tokens come in at a quicker rate. It's actually going to make souls go down at a quicker rate as well. Tokens existing at a higher rate. Be interesting to see how that impacts things. Because I haven't ever hit 0 souls in, gosh, I don't even know how long. I want to say 6 years, 7 years. Like, it's been a while. Like, I think the first year of the game, or maybe even just like the half of the first year of the game, was the last time I ever hit 0 souls. Ever since then, we've always had some amount of surplus. But it is kind of amazing to think that it could actually hit 0 again. If they increase the metal rates enough, you definitely would be able to hit 0 souls. Because it does start to eat a lot of souls. It does 10,000, 20,000, and 30,000. Meaning the cheapest you can ever upgrade a troop then is 60,000 souls. And that adds up pretty quickly if you're doing dozens upon dozens of troops. Which classes benefit the least when you have them raised from level 40, 70 to 100? Generally, anything that doesn't have a good final trait doesn't gain much of a benefit at 100. And any of them that don't gain a mana link or an explosion, or basically anything that helps with mana accumulation, any of the classes that don't have any of that for 70 tend to not get much of a benefit, though most classes do have one for 70, but a lot of them don't have any usefulness at 100. The easiest way to tell is, do they have triple damage? Do they have that one immunity trait? Or do they have, say, it's that one immunity trait, triple damage, and the 7% insta-kill. If they do not have one of those 3, they are likely useless. The one exception to that, I guess, is that one elemental one. Though, I don't think there's any combination of troops where it both has that and not another good one. Because I know Elemental still has the other good one. I know Titan still has the other good one. So I'm not sure if there even is an instance of that. But those are the 3 main categories that are, like, really, really good. And most of the other ones are kind of underwhelming. So I guess those 4 categories, because that elemental one's kind of decent too. But if you put it that way, I guess the rogue one can also be situationally good. However, that's only particularly good on the thief here, or not thief, on the Corsair hero class. Because I believe that's one that doesn't have any of those other good benefits, but it's still good to get to 100 because it's a thief class with the thief additional magic. So it's one of those rare situations where that perk is good because the hero class itself is also the typing that is needed for the buff. That's why it's used with Rogue Spider, or what is it called? Night Spider? That Night Spider team. Which reminds me, I still never covered a hero class tier list video. Which is a really big video to cover. If I do cover, I kind of almost want to break into multiple videos. Because there's no way we could show a team for all 35 hero classes without it taking forever. The video would literally just be us showing 35 classes at that point. Because even if you spent 1 minute on each, that is already 35 minutes without even saying a single word about the classes themselves. It would just be over the teams. So it definitely would have to be separated with, if I was to cover teams, a video mentioning like the rundown on the classes and then the other one kind of mentioning teams. Because there's no way you could do them in the same video. It'd be over an hour long. Probably even over 2 hours long. Because just explaining each hero class is going to take at least 2 minutes each, so that's already over an hour. And not even counting anything team related. Because you have to go through their 3 traits, you'd have to go through the 7 sets of perks, and you'd have to go over their overall, just what they're used for. In combination with all those things. Which is like minimum an hour. Not even counting teams or anything. The best troops of 2019 video. That was a funny one. Yeah, we never did do that one. Like, we had it all set up and I just never bothered recording it. And now everyone brings it up whenever we like delay a video. Because that one video that was delayed into oblivion to the point where it was never actually released. That's my problem with taking on like bigger video projects. Like, it'll get started, but then never finished. Like, that one was going to be a pretty elaborate one, but it was, like, so elaborate that I never bothered finishing it. How do you eat an elephant? Oh, no, what's the answer to that pun? Because that's definitely going to end in a pun. What is it? You Ella can't? I'm not sure. Another one down. Okay, so here's where we would actually be at 0. So like right here, we would normally have 0. However, so that means we'd be like right before stage 8. One bite at a time. Is that a joke? If it is, it went over my head. Almost sounds like a computer joke, but I'm not sure. Oh no, I don't get the joke. 2 people said 1 bite at a time. I don't understand the joke. But hello, Zer. Welcome, welcome. Hope all has been well. Are banners different between PC and consoles? No, they're the same. You're going to try Barbara's team from yesterday, but don't see the Fanged banner. You might not have it unlocked. There's also some that are locked behind war coins. I can't remember what Fanged banner specifically is locked behind, though. I'm pretty sure it was a faction, wasn't it? But no, it does exist. They're sorted a bit weirdly, because they're sorted based on kingdom, not alphabetical. So if you're looking for it that way, that might be why it's not showing up there. But no, Fanged banner should exist on all platforms. I cannot remember which one it is, though. Let's see. Which one is Fanged banner? Isn't that Golvania? Why do I feel like it's Golvania? No, it might actually be, it's from that one Naga, faction, if not mistaken. Yeah, that one. Fangmore. I couldn't remember its name. But yeah, you just have to have the Unfangmore faction unlocked. Which is right over here. It's this one right there. But you have to have this faction unlocked to have that banner. The one with all the Nagas that for whatever reason is not associated to Mrs. Scales, even though you kind of think it would be. But it is not. Are we doing Pokemon tomorrow or Sunday? Both. The answer is both. I even want to cover a guide video if I can before the thing. I've been meaning to cover so many for it, and now that they're not making as much noise, it's a bit easier to do so. Which is also why we're able to get all the Gems of War stuff out in a pretty timely manner. It feels nice not having to deal with the noise. They're still working on stuff here, but a lot of the stuff they've been doing lately was more towards the front of the house or in a location just where it just wouldn't make as much noise, but I wouldn't hear it. So it's been pretty convenient. It's almost like they're not even here, even though they're still kind of been here on most days. But yeah, we'll be doing it both tomorrow and on Sunday. I should hopefully have a guide video out. I want to say tomorrow morning or tonight. I'll probably record it tonight and have it up tomorrow. Or try to get it up tonight, we'll see. I've been meaning to cover guides for that game. We have like hundreds of hours in it and I still haven't covered any guide. Actually, I think it's the most time I have in a or I think it might be the most time I have in a game that I intended to cover guides for, that I have 0 guides actually covered for the game on. It is one of them that I meant to do it for. And still haven't. And what's kind of funny is almost every video idea I have for it, no one is still covered yet. Like, it's been a month and no one has covered a single one of the ideas I had yet. Which I find kind of weird. Given that there are like 100+ people who are like literally only cover Pokemon. Yet not a single one of the video ideas I've had have actually been covered yet by anyone. Or at least not that I can find from searching all the terms that would probably bring it up. Let's see if I wrote that down. The elephant joke is a metaphor. I still don't get what it is, though. Like, I know what a metaphor is. But I mean, saying that's a metaphor doesn't make me explain it any... or it doesn't help me understand it anymore. Ah, there we go. I don't know, the joke just went over my head, I guess. But anyways, okay, so we basically just got the normal loot you'd get from a Tuesday so far, but with 1 less orb. Because we got 1 Volkey and 1 orb. The other Volkey is over there. And yeah, we're definitely not reaching those further ones. So is it really that worth it? Because we're going to do the battles tomorrow and then the other one. I think we get to stage 11, which means we'd get 2 Volkeys and 1 orb for 30 gems. The overall amount of time is not that much to go do that, though, but still. Oh, no, that doesn't seem that worth it. Like, you're getting a bunch of other loot along the way and stuff, but, oh, no, that's not a lot of loot. Well, let's see. What's the poll currently at? We got 40 votes. It is 57% of people doing exactly what we're doing. Another 22% who are going tiered enough to be able to go get all rewards. There's a very small portion of people going for pure faction. And about 50% or so skipping it completely. I don't know. I might skip it completely if they do this again. I don't know. So we'll see. It gives us something to do on those weekends, so I don't normally mind it as much. But the loot payout's not that good. But yeah, we're in the majority polled answer there, I guess, then. Of people who are buying the free or tier 1 pack kind of thing. Anyways, well, we got our battles in. Let's go hand out a code. And then we'll go mess with the Mythic a little bit. Actually, you also still need to go do those other daily thingy things too. Let's do the code. Alright, one moment. I need to go find my code section because I actually don't have it up right now. And the slow computer might take a little while to actually get there. I know I still have Photoshop open, but it's so laggy that it doesn't want to move. And now I can't click on the thing. Let's see. There's another way to get there if it doesn't want to move. Wait. Only problem is I forget what I have it named as on the desktop. Wait. I know workarounds. The only problem is the workaround might be slower than just trying to get this thing to move. There we go. It did move. Okay, we got it. There it is. Oh, I just have it named codes. That makes sense. Let's see. We'll grab this. We had a file name that has all the codes for Gems of War is literally just called codes. That's funny. What an elaborate name. Well, that makes sense. That is what it is. Just need to find the code section. If it's going to be this laggy, I might just copy paste it into chat. Which at this point I might just have to do because this computer is working very slowly right now. So I'm just going to do that. You guys know where to use it. Let's see. Does it actually want to paste? Loading, loading, loading. There it goes. But there's the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says right over here is what you put in for your invite code. Redeem code is right over there in chat. It's copy paste of random numbers and letters starting with EF. And it gives same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Also, if someone could claim it for me, that would be great. Thank you. Because the other thing doesn't want to let me do it. But would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, let's go clear through the thing over here. Where's my Phoenicia? There we go. Hopefully we'll randomly see a mail message. Because that will indicate someone claiming it for us. Luckily our invite code is super easy to remember since it's literally just... There it is! Literally just a word. Thank you whoever did that. Greatly appreciated. We got mail. We got sent a gem key and all the normal loot that a redeem code has. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Of course, the main loot being a gem key, which you can go use immediately for that mythic if you still haven't gotten it yet, or save it until a better mythic comes around, which is a pretty low bar. Though there are mythics worse than that. You never know. I would say it's in like the better half of mythics, but barely. So there's like a 50-50 chance next time a mythic comes out that it'll be worse or better than the one that just came out. So it's kind of pretty even. Though I would say if you haven't gotten this mythic yet, I would at least try like slightly for it. Like if you're missing literally every Kazale mythic, it's the best Kazale mythic you're gonna get between the 3 of them. So if you look at it like that, because you need a mythic for the place anyways, it's kind of decent value. I don't think I mentioned that on the video. But that's one of its better value points as well. I do personally feel like it's the best of the 3 Kazale mythics. And you do eventually need a Kazale mythic. Technically 2 of them, but start with 1. And that could be your 1. Gargantar is the worst. I used to say that. However, I think there are a few mythics that have become worse than Gargantar. At least Gargantar, after a lot of kills, if you're up against a team like, let's say, Life and Death, and it's doing a bunch of summons off of Orb Weaver, because you're getting those giant spiders, like, at least it can one-shot after you play that team for, like, 5 minutes straight. But there's a lot of mythics that are just, like, completely useless, like, Yavandra. Not Yavandra. Yavandra's good. I mean, Fallen Valdis, I mean. I knew it had a V sound in it. But Fallen Valdis is just so absurdly bad. It was added to counter Divines. Yet they just had to nerf Divines into the ground because they didn't actually counter it properly with the troop because the troop is so bad. I got a pet rescue of something I think I actually need. No, I do not need it. Really? I have all the copies of this thing already? Interesting. Could have sworn I did not have that thing maxed, but apparently we do. Apparently it is very much maxed. After we clear this out, we'll go mess with the new mythic a little bit more. Probably just for a few battles, though. But I don't know. Is it the overall consensus that is completely useless? I kind of like it. Like, after they did that, if it was released how it was going to be, then I absolutely would have hated it. But, I don't know. It's usable. Like, it's no Weaver. It's just a vastly inferior Weaver. Arachne Weaver. But, I don't know. It could do some fun things. It has some potential. It's a bit luck-based. When it works, it does work to a okay degree. Trade setup also isn't the worst out of anything out there. I wish it did have a better unique trait though. Like that could have made or break the troop, and it kind of broke it a little in a bad way, or you know, it's made it so it wasn't good or as good. That's not the team I want. Get my rope dart back. Okay, I want to go build a rope dart team built around oh, so why was I copying the team? I'm not sure why. I just want to modify the team. But I want to build a rope dart team that is this, but made for not pure yellow. I want to see how much better it can get if we just use this as like a solid PvP team. So, what else do we need for one other damage source? If we just wanted any damage source in the game, ideally one that used green and or purple that can hit first slot. What on earth would we want? Rowan would actually be kind of interesting because it brings everything into a kill range. I'd prefer to have something that has extra turn though. Is there any green troop like an extra turn spam for like a poke? What's under goblins underneath that category? There's plenty of green goblins out there that can extra turn. Let's see. You do better if they're already damaged. I need something that's just for upfront damage. I guess truffle. Actually, you know what? We could go truffle. Truffle works. Yeah, we can go with truffle. See how it goes. I don't even need elementals though at this point. I don't feel like I do. I might still just keep it though. It's a good hero class. Hey, someone else using Ahries. Or Aries, I mean. I will find like a billion different ways to mispronounce everything. I have already said Aries in like 3 different ways. I'm pretty sure Aries is correct though. But I have said it so many incorrect ways today. In ways I'm pretty sure people do not even know, like realize you could even like misspeak Aries that much. We've invented drastically new ways of mispronouncing it. Alright, so let me kill his Aries with my Aries. He gets a convert. So he's doing what I was doing before. He's using the red-yellow thing to feed into brown. Actually, is he pure? No, he's not pure yellow. This is a standard team. I thought it was pure yellow for a moment. But he did what I had set up earlier when I was making this pure yellow. So we basically just keep targeting whatever the biggest threat is at any given time. Or whatever's within kill range of rope dart. And then we kind of do truffle to go from there. So we're going to go rope dart, his rope dart. That is rope dart, right? No, wait, what are you on earth using that? Oh, I guess it's Kazale bonus. Interesting. A pure Kazale team? I didn't even realize that with all the elcarjen troops, but yeah, that is what he's using. Because I was wondering why he had elcarjen troops, and it's like, oh yeah, he's doing that. I haven't really seen that strategy really be used. Oh, we actually get high rolled there. I didn't account for the extra damage he just did, and we actually got kind of lucky there. Very nice. But yeah, it's functioning. Is it doing insanely good? Probably not. But it's functioning. That heal is so annoying though. I almost want to rope dart the other one just so we could bring it to a one-on-one fight. Because we don't have enough damage otherwise to kill out the other thing. Pretty sure that's a kill. Unless we get really unlucky. Because technically that could have rolled low enough to not kill. That was very unlikely for that to occur. But it could have. See how it does against a real Weaver. The fake Weaver. Oh, you finally hit VIP 14. Nice. Let's be a very high VIP level. I can't even remember what mine is these days. I think we're at VIP 8. And probably will be for quite some time. I never thought I would actually reach VIP 10. We spent a lot of money at that point then. Once we finally do. Because I think VIP 10 is almost 800? That's 800 over the course, so by the time we reach it, like 10 years. Of course, it hasn't been that long yet, as far as how long the game has been out. But also, we just lost to Life and Death again. But by the time we actually reach it, because I think we're only like not even halfway through 8, I think. Though I do keep buying all the passes. Thanks to Isabel's gracious donations. I would still be buying the normal passes, but thanks to Isabel, we buy the bigger pass each time. But yeah, we're halfway through 8. And that allows us to show the content a day early, which means next Monday, I'll actually be able to show, thanks to Isabel, we'll be able to show the Mythic a week early. Because this comes out for most people if you just bought the standard pass. This comes out 2 Mondays from now, not this week's Monday, but next week's Monday. However, if you bought the bigger pass, you'll actually have access to this troop in 3 days from now. You'll be able to get it, and we'll be messing with it on Monday night stream if you want to see what it could do. I'll probably cover the video a little bit more towards the weekends, because it makes more sense, because that's when most people tend to get access to it, is that following Monday, after next Monday. But on that Monday night, this next one, I will be going over it. Anyways, but yeah, the Mythic... I don't know, the more I use it, the more average it feels. I don't completely hate it, though. I do like the adjustments they made to it. I'm glad they didn't release it in a completely useless state, but it could still use some work. I hate how badly they made the unique trait. I'm not sure why they give so many Mythics such a useless unique trait. There's so many creative things you could do to make them not bad, and they almost never do it. Anyways, I guess we'll go claim this pet real quick. And then we might just call it a wrap. No, I already have my team set. I'm like trying to change the thing. It's like, oh, it's already set correctly. With a withering staff as well. Finishing with withering staff is pretty fun. It's a good cleanup option for it. There's a couple different options that work really well in the first slot for this team, and that is one of them. I don't feel like I use a writhing staff that often, though. It's a really good weapon for how rarely I tend to use it these days. I used it a lot back in the day, but I feel like these days I don't use it as much, even though it's still just as good of a weapon. Because there's actually no other weapon that really does what it does. It does skull creation while entangling first slot, which is a really good combination. Also, the scatter damage, so you're preemptively getting rid of barrier on the entire enemy team as well, which is pretty convenient. So it's getting quite a bit of value for the cast. Wait, what do you get at 17? Is that when one of the stats is maxed? I'm actually not even sure. Or is that when it goes up by like 50% or 100% gold or something? Because I know there's some sections where it just snaps up like crazy. Like how much of a resource you end up getting for the tier. Because we can be getting more than like double the current rate of resources right now if we were like ridiculously high VIP. Oh, is that when the final gold one is? Because that's probably one of the most useful ones. Because EXP has such a diminishing return, whereas gold retains its value. Like X amount of gold will always do X amount of a thing. Oh, it is the EXP one. Interesting. Oh, you're trying to aim for a really high level then. That makes sense. Because that must be when it jumps up by 50 EXP or something, or 25. I'm not sure which. I know there's a few spots where it jumps up by like a ridiculously high number. It's basically a permanent Ring of Wonder if it is a 50% jump. Babe, you've been a higher level than me for a while. Didn't you pass me like several months ago? And now you're probably like 150 over. Actually, you're probably the highest level in the guild, aren't you? I'm pretty sure you are. Let me go take this battle and go check. But yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I'll probably be calling it a night. Definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream if you guys haven't already. But we'll be probably calling it a wrap after that for the most part. And then messing with the faction tomorrow night. I don't think we're getting a pet tomorrow. One of those past ones. We might be. I didn't actually check. And I currently have a pet active, so there's no way to check. I don't think we are, though. It's mostly just a weird faction event. Because I'm pretty sure they planned on the patch already being out for this weekend. So they weren't really planning anything like that. Is seemingly what ended up happening this weekend. Because I don't really feel like they planned on this being a faction event. And of course, I get 4 copies of a troop when I like don't even need that many copies of it. It's always the one we don't need that we get a billion copies of. Ones we already have maxed. Oh, I didn't claim my seals yet. I always forget to claim my seals, though, in all fairness. There's almost no week where I remember to actually claim my seals. But, yeah, gosh, level 1008. You've already, like, over 100 levels over us. Definitely the highest in the guild. Congrats. Actually, I've dipped down. I am now the 4th highest level in the guild. We were the highest for the longest amount of, for quite a long time. But we are now the 4th highest. But I do eventually want to hit 2,000. I'm just not in any, like, real rush to get there currently. Because realistically, it's going to take years. Not in a rush to get all the way there. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be back tomorrow, as I mentioned, same time as always, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For any of you that like Pokemon, we will be shiny hunting and messing with a lot of the new features that came out in Pokemon Legends Arceus last week, I believe on Sunday, end up happening. So it's not even a week old as far as all the update stuff, and we'll be messing with a lot of that content on stream tomorrow and on Sunday during the day. So we'll be messing with that. And yeah, we'll go from there. And of course, tomorrow night we'll mostly just be doing some grinding for Gems of War. Sunday night we'll be going over all the spoilers for the week. And Monday night we'll be messing with the new Mythic and all the tasks. And then hopefully on Tuesday we finally get the patch. So we can then go over the patch. Very likely it's this Tuesday, though I have no clue at this point if we are or are not getting the patch. I really don't know. We'll find out when it happens. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you later. Have a wonderful weekend and see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone.